Hello, everybody. It is Lynn here. Lynn, the Go Live Granny. And here I am live streaming on Sunday evening. And it is Sunday what is it? It's Sunday the 30th. Is it the 30th? Oh, it's Sunday the 30th of March, 2025. And I can see one or two people coming into the broadcast. Welcome to anybody who's coming in live. If you want to join in the chat, please do put your comments down below. It would be lovely to see all the comments coming up. Hello, Tracy. It's the 30th. Look, there we are. She is my aide memoir. She's my personal assistant. I know Tracy's wanting some more gold stars for this. So anyway, thank you, Tracy, for that. If you could please, Tracy, could you please tag some of our regular viewers? I haven't had any time really to share the broadcast. It's been a busy old day today. Mother's Day. I've spent it. Hello, Tina coming in on Facebook there. Tina Furnival coming in. I haven't had much time. I've been enjoying Mother's Day with my daughter and her family, and we spent some of it in Tesco's. You know, we know how to live the wild life. I have heard from other members of my family too, so that was nice. And hello, Bob. Bob's coming in there from YouTube. So we have YouTube and we have Facebook both working. I'm just going to wipe my glasses. They're a bit smeary. My eyes have gone a bit blurry, and they're not great at the best of times. But if I did try and wipe my glasses just now, but I don't know what happened. Maybe I made them worse rather than better. So do you like my new headgear? I couldn't resist wearing these carrot boppers, but they're not. They are attached to the purchase tag, and I'll tell you about these in a minute. I do have my own bunny ears here, but I also have some a lamb headgear. Thank you, Tracy. Tracy tagging everybody in there. That's wonderful. So what sort of Mother's Day have any of you had? Have you had a nice time? I know you're not all mums. Some of you are. Some of you are not. Of course, I am a mum, so I'm with my daughter and her family, but my boys are around the country. I have heard from both households from the boys, so that was good. I've had, let me see, I've had a lovely Mother's Day card from my daughter. And I've had another card. This card. No comments on YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Debs. I don't know why that is. Bob, have you? Oh, Bob's commenting on YouTube, so his YouTube is okay. Don't know whether you need to go out and in again. I really don't know how that one works. Hello, Kath. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. And I know Kath's been having a nice Mother's Day because I chatted to her earlier when I was in the supermarket with my daughter. Oh, thank you. I'd forgotten that was down there. Right, hang on. Let's just put... That's it. Thank you. My daughter's just bought me a cup of coffee. Thank you very much, darling. Tracy's had a lovely day. She's seen all her children and lots of presents and been very spoiled. Well, so this is the card I had from my daughter. This is a card I had from both my boys. Ladies' Day, whether mums or not. Yes, let's call it Happy Ladies' Day because not all ladies are mums. So this one, it's got all sorts of writing in this one. So it was from Tristan, and there's loads of messages going round and round and round. And it also seems to be from Toby as well. They both have signed it, but it's from both of them. And I think they must have organised this when we were all together the other day at the wedding. So the boys have sent me a joint card, and that's okay. I don't mind. I have been making cards. I've been making Mother's Day cards today. I made Mother's Day cards for my children to give to my grandchildren to give to their mummy. The daddy's away, and so not reminding them. And so I was here, and I'm on the bed. There's all sorts of pieces of green card because my daughter loves green. And oh, my eyes have gone a bit blurry. I think it's my eyes, not my. Is it my glasses? I don't know. It's fine now. And one of the children had made her own card. I made cards for the other three, so 2 of them have been given. The third child, so she's had 3 cards from 4 of her children, and the last card is here. Happy Mother's Day. And it's a quick one I made just now, just before I have my tea, so that the 4th child can give her card to her mummy. So I will put pictures of the other ones I made on Facebook later on. So I've been in my element. I've been sitting here making Mother's Day cards and really enjoying it, and knowing that my daughter loves green, so they're all green. All her cards are green. Then, as I say, we went to the supermarket. It's just what you do on Mother's Day, isn't it? Well, it's certainly what you do when you're running out of things, especially things like toilet roll and some of the natural, those things that in a busy household get depleted very quickly. But it didn't matter, because my daughter and I just love being with each other whenever and wherever. And of course, when we go to the supermarket, we have a bit of a drive because she lives in a very rural place. So we have a lot of time sitting and chatting in the car without any other people around, because the children are big enough to not always have to take them to the supermarket. So that's good. So we had, we really knew how to live it up. Tracy's saying she had a card from her son and it made her laugh. It says, "Mum, you have looked after me. You've cooked, cleaned, washed and slaved after me." Then on the inside it says, "Keep up the good work." I saw somebody else's fun card, and it said something about, I can't it was a fun thing along those same sort of lines, Tracy. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a similar sort of thing to that. So it's been a busy day. It's been a beautiful sunny day, and of course we've had the extra hour of daylight since here in the UK our clocks changed last night. I hope you all remember to change your clocks. Did you? I didn't change mine because on my phone it moves forward naturally. When I go home, I know the clocks on the wall won't be changed, and of course John and Kath are not living on the island now, and it was John who changed my clocks for me last time. So I know they're coming to see me on the island when I'm back on the island sometime in the next couple of months. So when I am home, I'll just have to forget that the clocks are an hour out until John is able to fix my clocks for me. But I don't know how much time I'm going to be at home or how much I'm being here. So, of course, last Sunday I was here, wasn't I? And then I stayed here normally I would have gone home on Monday and perhaps come back on Friday. But I didn't go home on Monday because it was my daughter's birthday. So Natasha and I had a day together, and then in the evening we went out for a meal with the children, and it was lovely. They were, it's nice to hear them all ordering their own meals now. Even the youngest, who's 11, very, very grown up, ordering his own meal. You might wonder, before I go on about that, you might wonder why I've got this paraphernalia on my head. Well, this is something I bought in the supermarket today, and let me show you. I couldn't resist this. Look, it's a little tutu and a little orange tutu and some carrot ear boppers. Now, I wanted to wear the boppers, but I didn't want to take it off the card because this is a present for one of my granddaughters. So I had to wear it like that. So that was one of the things that came from Tesco's. And then I bought this one. I think they're going to have to interchange because obviously that's much a more pretty one, but I think these will fit both of them. They're very similar sort of size. And so this is a lamb and a nice lamb's skin, lamb's wool jacket. I didn't try and put this one on my head. Well, I didn't think it would be much, will it? Let's have a look. Oh, there you go. Not quite the same, is it? So let's put that down there. Tracy remembered her clocks, and she's had such a lovely day. We've been sat in the garden. If Stephen is about when you get home, I'll pop round with him and he'll do your clocks for you. Tracy, I'm not at home. I'm not at home, Tracy. I won't be home. I'll let you know when I'm coming home. I'm back at my daughter's, so you might go round, but there'll be nobody there to let you in. So don't worry about it. It's not going to affect me because I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there all this week, and I'm not going to be home next weekend either. So it'll be the following week. So let me just have a little drink because my throat is getting a bit dry. There we go. So let me show you some of the things I had for Mother's Day. So I had these daily affirmation cards, and let me show you, because these are the sorts of things I like to put up on Facebook for lots of you to see. Oh, I better put some, but let's put some bunny ears on, because otherwise I feel a bit naked if I haven't got something on my head. There we go. These are my own bunny ears. Right, so lots of lovely affirmation cards, because my daughter knows I like these things. It says, make your dreams a reality. Oh, Tracy knows I'm not home. She said she meant when I was back. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm back, Tracy, and that would be great if Stephen could do that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to wait till May to get my clocks put right. Bless you. So that says, you make your dreams a reality. This one is a good one. It says, take some time for yourself and breathe. Well, do you know what? I started doing that. My daughter and I were having a conversation today. And when we came back from the supermarket, I was actually just sitting in the chair, no knitting in my hand, no crafting, just sitting. Something I've learned, it's taken me a long time to learn just to do that. And I said to her, sometimes when I'm at home these days, I don't knit and I don't do something else. Sometimes I just sit and breathe and watch TV. It's been a hard task to get there, and I know it. When I was younger, there was always pressure, and this is from my family, pressure not to sit and waste your time. I mean, I don't consider sitting in a chair, relaxing and breathing is wasting time. But there were those who did think that was the case. And so we were always, come on, you've got to be on and doing. And I suppose that's why I've always been so active. I don't know. Debs has planted a lovely rose. Remember me, a bush rose. That's your only hybrid tea, orange and scented. And you loved my tutu. Thank you. Yeah, well, obviously it wouldn't go round me. I did consider it, taking it off the card and putting this on round my neck as a like a ruff. But I really want to present it to them like that on its carrier, and I couldn't resist. I used to make costumes for children. Way back when you couldn't buy them, and I used to make them then fairly cheaply, but now I couldn't make these for the cost anymore. This was £5, and it probably, by the time you bought all the bits, I might have been able to make it for under £5, but it's just not worth the hassle anymore. I'd rather do my cards. And you know what? This room is so hot now. If I open the door, the cats will come in, and I'm not over keen on having the cats, but I'm getting a bit hot. Let me take off my lovely sparkly cardigan. You saw that last time. Let me take off my sparkly cardigan. Oh, because I'm getting a bit too hot, and I don't want to pass out on camera because I got too hot. Let's just take that out. It's a shame you didn't have your tutu on Friday. You could have worn it for our coffee. Why was it oh yes, for our coffee morning, you and me, Tracy, you mean our coffee meeting? Yes, Tracy and I met up for coffee again in Ryde, and this time we didn't have the entertainment we had before. If you've been watching before, you know that when Tracy and I last time, we met in the Elfs, and we were there for 4 hours, supping coffee, putting the world to rights, and listening to the entertainment going on at the side, which wasn't really entertainment, but it was people having an afternoon tea, and they were complaining about it, and the manager wasn't handling it well, etc. So if you want to know about that, you need to go back to previous broadcasts. But we didn't get that same sort of level of entertainment. We just got us chatting to each other. There wasn't any shenanigans, was there? So yeah, there we go. And on my travel yesterday, no shenanigans, except there was a shenanigan So there were no travel shenanigans, right? I did my journey yesterday. It was as smooth as anything. The taxi came, got me down to the hover, travel in time. The hover was on time. I got to Portsmouth and Southsea, where I met Mark again. Mark was that wonderful passenger assistant that met me on a previous time when I was going back to the island, and when the train was late and I was going to miss the hover bus, which meant I was going to miss the hover. And he was the one who organised a taxi and put me in a taxi and got me round to the hover terminal even before the hover bus got there. So I hadn't seen him. That was quite a few weeks ago, and I hadn't seen him since then. That was in January, I think. It was in January, and I hadn't seen him since then. But he was on duty on Friday at Portsmouth and Southsea and said, "Come on, let's have another picture." And it was just so nice to see him. But he was a guy with big hair. When I first met him, his hair was all very sticky out, big hair, and it's just part of his personality. But his hair was a bit more tamed down this time, but it was still hair. My hair was blowing about because as I got off the hover bus to walk round to Portsmouth and Southsea station, the wind was blowing a hoolie. It wasn't cold, but the wind was blowing a hoolie, and my hair's a bit long at the moment, and so it blew up, and so we had hairstyles a bit similar. So anyway, so he helped me on the train. Then I had my changeover at Basingstoke, and the guy at Basingstoke, he recognised me from the past, and he was very chatty and got me off the train and got me sorted. And then I got on the next train. He helped me get on the next train. Subrit, I think that was, who helped me there. And then, and I don't know, I can't remember who the guard was on there, but lots of chats, lots of photographs gone up from there. And then I went to Reading, from Basingstoke to Reading. This is how I usually change over. But when I got to Reading, everything was fine getting off the train. But I then had to leave the station. I knew this was happening because it was the weekend and there were replacement buses from Reading to my final destination. So actually, it went very well. My concern had been when I was booking it, last time I ever did a rail replacement was years ago. And it was a struggle to get up onto the very high steps on the coach. And, I now had Navy Nora all loaded up. But I rang Passenger Assist before I did it and said, I'm not sure about the mobility issue of having the rail replacement. And they assured me it probably would be fine. They said, well, they have to take wheelchairs, but I'm not quite sure because I did have one of those big coaches and I did have some steep steps, but Navy Nora went in the luggage compartment and I didn't have to take all the bags off. I had to take just the top bag off, but then she went in the hold, where the luggage goes. She went in the hold with all the luggage on it. So that was okay. We did have a bit of shenanigans getting off the hover because getting on the hover, it's a bit steep. And I'm trying to hold on to because I'm going up into the hover, I need to hold on to the rail, but push my very heavy trolley, which has always got bags all attached to it as well. And I usually ask for help, and there didn't seem to be anybody much to help. And then somebody helped me when I was halfway up. And then there's a luggage hold just as you get into the hover. You have to put your stuff there. Well, it was already almost full, and then my Navy Nora went in there, and then they pull down the shutters to keep the luggage in. So when they open the shutters, of course, it's, hey Bob, it's my trolley that was sitting there, and my trolley was sitting in other people's way. And there was a lady trying to get a buggy out. And I thought, don't try and get your buggy out because normally I wait until everybody's gone and then I get off last. But I had to move because it was my luggage that was at the front. But this lady, she was trying to pull her pushchair out. And I could see that if I moved my Navy Nora first, it would be okay. But of course, the wheels got locked because she was in the way. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Bob. So that was a bit silly. Anyway, everybody had to wait for me because, my wheels were now locked with the pushchair. and it looked like I was at fault. I wasn't at fault at all. So anyway, I then had a job to turn around because everybody's queuing and wanting to get off the hover. There is another exit off the hover, but the people this side, they were wanting to get by. So I asked one of the staff who would help me with my trolley. So he very helpfully took my trolley down the ramp. And then he walked halfway across the hover terminal with it, and I had to stop him because it's my walker. It's very well helping me off, but actually, when we get to the bottom of the ramp, I need to hold on to my walker. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think they're helping, and off they go with my walker. And basically, he was trying to get me out of the way because I felt like he thought I was a bit of a nuisance. That's what I felt like, but I thought, well, I don't care because I've paid my money and I'm entitled to be here. So that was the only, if you could have a shenanigan, that would be the shenanigan. It wasn't really anything very much. So that was fine. And it was just lovely people all the way. So yes, so at Reading, I met up. I had to find where the replacement buses were going from. And so I went to I did ask the chap who was getting me off the train, but then I forgot. Because I do forget. And so I went up to the concourse. I knew I'd got to go up to the other bit. And then I went to the kiosk where they give information. And it was George was there. And George was the one who saw me on that dreadful day when I was travelling back from the north. Do you remember when I had the day from hell all the way through and trains cancelled and all that sort of thing? So he was there. And I said, where do I get the replacement buses from? And he said, look, madam, if you look over there, there's a sign that says replacement bus. It was a huge sign. But of course, I'd come out of the lift and I was looking straight ahead and saw the kiosk. I wasn't looking over here or over there. Otherwise, I would have seen this huge sign that said rail replacement buses. So he and I had a joke. And then I went and I found the replacement bus, and that was very easy. And once the coach was, once it was full, we were on our way. And I recently bought some earbuds. I used to listen on my phone on my travels, but I used to have a cord, earphones on a cord. And then of course I'd get the cord muddled up with my scarf, and the cord would get, if I was knitting, my knitting would get caught up in that. So I stopped using earphones because it was too much of a disaster and I was likely to strangle myself. I did have some wireless earbuds once, but I don't know where I tried to pair them and I didn't know how to do it. And they're in my flat somewhere. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy some new ones. So I bought some new ones the other day and they came to my daughter's house. And then when I wanted to learn how to use them, I got one of the grandchildren to show me how to pair them. And it paired so easily. It was no problem at all. So I now have lovely pink earphones. I couldn't get lilac ones because they weren't on offer, the lilac ones, but I have nice pink ones. I don't know if I can find them and show you. I've got so many bags around here. So let me see if I can find them. I've got bags with pockets in. I've got some new bags, and but there's so many pockets now. There's more pockets than I had in the other bag. So I get very confused as to where my earbuds are. Here they are. Look, a nice little case. It's gold and pink. I would have had lilac, but they didn't have lilac. Just went on YouTube or something like that. I have an all-you-can-eat contract, so I can watch films and do all that sort of stuff. What make my earbuds? Oh, do you know? I don't know. Let's have a look. Kath, I can tell you. I can give you a link later. I got them on Amazon, and I can give you a link. It does. Don't give you a link. Find them. And for anybody who doesn't know, I do have a little affiliate code for Amazon. So, if anybody wants to buy on Amazon, let me know, because it does put a few pennies in the pot and it does help with the costs for running StreamYard and that sort of thing. We'll have to. Tracy's making me laugh. We'll have to get another clip and clip them to your handbag like your keys. Yes, actually, I'm not quite sure if you can, because I don't know how you would clip it on. There's nothing. I suppose we could put something through here and clip it on. Thing there, but that's how you charge them up, because I have to charge these, obviously. But what Tracy is referring to, I've told you all the story of my radar key, haven't I? So because I need to use the loo on a regular basis, and I need a big, a bigger loo for me and my paraphernalia, somebody once gave me a radar key because they could see all the issues I was having trying to use the toilets on my journey. So this radar key used to be in my little tiny handbag. And it was a tiny handbag with a very I can see the very handbag it was. Hang on a minute, folks. I'll just move all my things out the way that I've got here to show you all my little props. And whoops. So I used to travel with this tiny little handbag. It's not very big. It might look big on there, but it's not very big at all. And it has a little pocket on the side. And that's where I used to put my radar key so I could get it quickly. But of course, that's very tight. Hello, Freeze It Park Lifestyle. Pretty here is, hello, Chris. If that's who you are, Chris. Thank you. I don't think you told me your name before, did you? Can't remember. Anyway, this was the bag that I used to use. Oh, Devs is using earbuds now. Great for multitasking. Absolutely, they are. So, so the radar key was in there, but when I need to go to the loo, I need to go to the loo. I don't need to take 20 minutes to find a key and find the loo. Too much information, I know, but it shows you the problems that Go Live Granny has. So I then upgraded to this handbag. Whoops. I upgraded to this handbag. So I had a handbag for my radar, a zip for my radar key, a zip for my phone, a zip for something else, and it doesn't have a zip on the back, but it has zips inside and sections inside for all the different things. But I still managed to lose things. Kath saying she has the headphones which are Bluetooth, but you would also like a new pair of earbuds. Okay, yeah, they're brilliant. And they paired so quickly and so easily. There was nothing to it. It was amazing. So anyway, so I recently bought this. But do you know what? The other day, I went on the day that I was. So yes, the day I was meeting Tracy on Friday, I went and had my nails done. So I was on the Isle of Wight. Look, and do you like my nails? Look, I've got little Easter bunny here. Can you see my little Easter bunny? And I've got a sparkle on that one, plain, spotty, and a sparkly thumb, and the same on the other hand. And I'm very pleased with them. So I went first thing on Friday. I went and had my nails done because I like to do it when I'm home to the nail bar that I know. So I did that, and then I was going across the road. There's a bag shop. My nails are fab, aren't they? I love them. And there's a bag shop opposite. Whoops. So I went in to see Debs, and I only went to say to her I had managed to catch up with the 150 smoothie hats that she'd done. She'd made 100 and you like it much. You look great. Thank you, Freeze It Park Life. Thank you very much. So Debs had made all these smoothie hats for the Innocent Smoothie campaign, and she didn't know where to send them. And I said, well, give them to Isle of Wool, and I'll collect them from there. So I did that, but I wanted her to know, because she's not on social media, I wanted her to know that I'd actually got the smoothie hats ready to give to Age UK Isle of Wight. And that's all I was going to do. Just pop in, say, I've got those, and then go on my merry way, because I then was going back to so those two shops, the nail bar and the bag shop, are opposite each other at the bottom of Union Street in Ryde. Well, Union Street is like this. So I get the bus all the way down to the bottom, the flat bit, by we've got a new transport section at the end of Ryde Pier on the Esplanade. So I get the bus to there. Then my nail bar, they like cash. So there's a cash machine there. I've worked it all out so it makes life as easy for me as possible. Excuse me a second. So that's what I do. I get my cash from the cash machine in the station. The only thing that could go wrong is if the cash machine was out of order, then I would have to go back up the hill to a cash machine. But it didn't, it wasn't out of order. And then in the station also, there is a toilet with a radar key, a disabled toilet. So I use that, then I go have my nails done. Then I went across to Deb's. Then I came back to the ride interchange because I wanted to go to the top of the hill, but I didn't want to walk up the hill because I might get a bit puffed by the time I got to the top, a bit worn out. But I wanted to go up. I wanted to go in the department store. Now, it's called the department. It's a shop that used to be Elizabeth Pack. And it's a shop where I bought the outfit that I wore for my son's wedding the other day. But I originally bought it 19 years ago when that shop was Elizabeth Pack. Well, it's a wonderful shop. It's a great big shop on the corner of Cross Street and Union Street. And that it's at the interchange at the top of Union Street. And the arty crafty people on the island have taken it over now. There was funding and all sorts, and it's a museum. It's got a bit of a theatre. It's got a cafe in it. It's got all those sort of things. And they opened this just about a week ago, and I wanted to go in and see. And I thought, well, I'll go and do that. I'll go in there. I'll go round the corner to the wool shop because Helen had messaged me and said she wanted, what should she do with her she had done, I can't remember how many hats, a load of smoothie hats, 2 boxes full. She said, oh, what shall I do with them? I said, well, I'll collect them and I'll hand them all over to Age UK. So she said, oh, well, when you get them? I said, well, I can come and get them now. I'm in town and then I'll be away. So why don't I come and get them now? So she put them in a bag because she got them in boxes. She said, do you want them in the boxes? I said, no, because I knew how big the boxes were. And I knew that it would have to balance on the top of Navy Nora. But I also had space in Navy Nora. So she put it into 2 black sacks and managed to squeeze it some into Navy Nora and some into one of the bags on the top. So I had all these things to do. And then I was going to meet somebody in Yelfs, not Tracy at this point. I was going to meet somebody in Yelfs at 1 o'clock. Yelfs is one of our local hotels, just one of our local small businesses. And it's where Tracy and I met the other time and we had all those shenanigans and whatever. And so I was meeting Joe at 1 o'clock and then I was going to meet Tracy at 2 o'clock. Well, because I stopped in the bag shop and ended up buying some things in the bag shop, I was running late, wasn't I? And then by the time I got up to the department, I didn't really have time to go round the department. So I went in, I put my head in the door because the bus stop's right by you get off the bus and there's the door straight in there. So I thought I'd just put my head in, but I'm going to have to come back next time I'm back on the island. But I wanted to see for myself what a great transformation they've done. I've watched their social media, but I wanted to see all the great things that they've done. So I just popped my head inside the door and I was just looking around and Joe Plum appeared. Now Joe has had a lot to do with all this taking over. There been lots of people involved, but Joe runs the Horsebox Theatre Company, and they're doing stuff in the theatre there, and he's had a lot of input. I don't know who's had what input until I sit down and have those conversations with them. I don't know all the ins and outs, and that's what I wanted to do. But anyway, I did manage to get a selfie with Joe, and I said I will come back. But he did tell me that there's a theatre show on in Elizabeth Pack's it's called the department now, and that is actually telling the whole story of Elizabeth Pack, how it came into being and everything that happened there. When I bought my outfit in there 19 years ago, it was one of those shops that sold wedding dresses and all the paraphernalia and the hats and all the mother of the bride stuff and nice clothes and shoes and bags and gloves and all sorts of things. It was an amazing shop. And it was run by a lady who was getting, when I knew about it, she was not in the first flushes of youth, shall I say. Lovely lady. But then when she passed, the family obviously wanted to, I'll tell you the story once I've listened to this, because I want to go and see the show. and I think I need to get tickets very soon. I'm not on the island, but it's still, next time I go back on the island, it's still on the show. So I think I need to book my tickets this week so I can go and see that show. And apparently inside they've got lifts to make it easy for people with accessibility issues and all that sort of thing. So it sounds like it's just my cup of tea. So I decided I would go back because I didn't have time to do that. So I then went round to the wool, round the corner to the wool shop and picked up all the smoothie hats, and then I went down to Yelson. By this time, Joe was messaging me. I was just about to message him and say I'm running a bit late, but I'll be there shortly. And at the same time, he was messaging me saying he was running late because he was stuck in traffic coming into Ryde. So anyway, we he got there first, but he only by a few minutes, and so I met up with him. Now he is bringing something new to the island. Well, people have tried all these things before, but he is bringing a reward card to the island, and I see it as a huge, great thing for the island. So basically, it's so. For example, supposing one of our hi Sam, one of our holiday. Say somebody who owns a hotel on the island can buy into the scheme of it's a reward scheme, and they can buy into the scheme, and then they can issue all their guests with a free card that gives them, so say they're on holiday there for 7 days, it will give them a free card. This card is free, and they will have it for the duration of their holiday, and they can take advantage of whatever the offers are on the card. And I see this as a fantastic thing because it doesn't cost the person who's using the card, it doesn't cost them a penny. So why wouldn't you want to be involved? And as it's a great marketing tool for the businesses that are going to use it. I see it as a fantastic thing. And I'm happy to promote it. I knew about it because somebody I met on the island some years ago, she knew how I network and how I promote other people's businesses just because I can. And when she saw Joe on LinkedIn and what he was doing, he said, you need to meet Lynn. So that's how so he messaged me and said, Amber says I need to meet you. Well, this was 2 or 3 weeks ago, but of course I had a family wedding to deal with first. So I said, we had a quick chat on the phone, and I said, I'll tell you what, let's talk after the wedding, which it now is, of course. So he happened, I messaged him and I said, are you on the island? He said, no, but I will be on Friday. So that's how we came. And of course, I was there on Friday. So that's how we came to link up on Friday. So it was very good. He was telling me all about it, and I'm very, very keen to be involved, only in to share it. And I'm not sure. He said something, and I said, all I want is maybe a free cup of coffee. I don't mind promoting it to loads and loads of people. And I did have a free cup of coffee. He did buy me a coffee on Friday. I do it not for the cup of coffee, because that's not what I'm about. I'm about community and what's good for the community. Anyway, so that was that. And then while I was still talking to him, Tracy arrived, and then shortly after that Joe had to go because he was going to meet more people to get more businesses on board. He's brought a load of Isle of Wight businesses on board already, accommodation providers, cafes, all sorts of things, all sorts of businesses on the island. He doesn't want to sign everybody up. He wants to make it like there are some businesses that are going to be on there, but there will be such a big choice. So that's good. So that was good. And then Tracy and I put the world to rights. And for some reason, I was talking about what I forgot to tell you in all that was that I did some shopping in the bag shop. Now, I bought this bag recently with all the pockets. Well, I like bright colours. Or if you're new here, you might not. But if you're not new here, you'll know I like bright colours. Well, there were some amazing rainbow type bags in this lady shop. She's in the window. She's a backpack. But I don't do big backpacks, me and backpacks are not very good because I have struggles getting my coat on and then trying to get a backpack on over my coat. It's just one step too far. But she did have this bag, and she had this bag, and Let me see. There's another one round here somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone. I seem to have lost one, folks. Oh, never mind. There's a small pouch as well that's in the rainbow colours. Well, this bag is even better than this bag. Well, I say it's better. It's brighter. It hangs over the handle of Navy Nora. But it's got even more pockets, mind you. I think that might be a bad thing because I might make it, well, I've already had trouble locating things. Which bag are they in? Anyway, I was talking to Tracy and telling her about the bag and the radar key and all that, and she said, "You need," and I don't know what you call it, but she said you need one of those key things on the springy bit. This is it sounds like the free Norfolk passport, which gives 10% off. Yeah, that's it. And other rewards, but you have it all the time, not just when you're on holiday there. Yeah. So, well, it's a card. So it's really for the businesses to give to their people. So it might be that some of the businesses have contacts who could use it more of the time. I haven't got all the gen on it. I need to look and see more about it and totally understand it more, Kath, because it was we had hello Donna. We had less than an hour, or about an hour's chat, and I didn't get all the information, or I might have done, but sometimes it takes me longer to process. So I need to study it more. But it's a jolly good thing. It's certainly a jolly good thing, Kath. And when you come and stay here, hopefully you'll get one. But I said, well, how do I get one? And well, he's going to give me one because he's a nice sort of man. I'm there all the time, but obviously I will share all the good news about it with everybody. So I will have one by special invitation. Anyway, so while we were sitting there and I was talking about my radar key, Tracy said you need one of these things, these springy things, and so that I could have my radar key attached to my bag. Because the issue is, and we're back to the toilet again. I'm so sorry. This conversation keeps cropping up, but I don't know if any of you have these radar keys. You want to find out about this? What about the card, or about the radar key, or about the springy things, Debs? What did you want to find out about? So anyway, with the radar key, it's quite a palaver because I've got my Navy Nora. Usually when I'm traveling, it's usually pretty heavy with stuff because I take stuff to my daughters. I bring craft stuff here. I take stuff back the other way. This time I took all my Christmas stuff back, and I took my wedding outfit back, so that's all back at my house. And I'm usually pretty laden. So then I'm trying to get to the loo, and I have to get the radar key. And most of the disabled doors do not have a handle on them. You put the key in, but then you have to pull the door open with the key. And I have a bit of a... You have the key, a green one. Excellent. Freeze It Park Life saying he needs much coffee and English tea. Hands, yellow heart. I work as a men's nurse. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. So it's a bit of a palaver, putting the key in, turning the key, opening the door. And of course, I've then got Navy Nora as well. So now I've got this attached. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea. And Tracy went and bought this for me. Thank you, Kath. Kath's putting in the norfolkpassport.com. Brilliant, Kath. Can you drop that in my messenger box as well? Because I'd love to look at that too and learn more about it. So anyway, so I put this on. I put my door keys on this as well. But I realised I've got to get a second door key for my house. I have got one that my neighbour has, and I got one that my brother has. But I need two, because if I put my door keys on here, as I explained to Tracy, yes, they'd be great because I'd know where they were. It just tucked in. So this tucks inside the edge of the bag before it opened the zip up a bit and tucked them in. But I then had, at night, I have to lock my front door with the key. And I like to leave the key at the bottom, but I don't like to leave my handbag at the bottom. I like to take that up in case anybody broke in the door. I don't want to give them my handbag just sitting there. So anyway, so I had to take my door keys off of it, but we will have a solution. I'll buy a second door key, and then I can have my door key on here as well as my radar key. So anyway, when I first used this, coming this way, coming back here, there's a disabled loo that I usually pop in on the way at Portsmouth and Southsea Station. And so I went to do this, and I had not positioned myself well enough in front of the door. So I could do this, but then I had to move Navy. It's all just a learning curve and working out how the best way to do it. But anyway, I managed it, and and then jiffled and round. So I'm working out now which is the best way to stand in front of the door with Navy Nora, to open the door, and then to be able to get in and do whatever a girl needs to do. But I love it. I love it. It's great. And of course, she got me a purple one. Don't you like it? So thank you, Tracy. That was amazing. So it's attached to my zip, but then I can just put it just inside the bag, so I don't have to remember which pocket I put it in, because it's just in there. Anyway, I've got so many more pockets on this than I had on the other bag. I know it's a bit extravagant. I had another bag. I'll probably find something else to do with that other bag. But I couldn't decide whether to buy that handbag or whether to buy this bag. And this one had a rainbow pouch with it. I don't know where the pouch has gone. Down here. It's around here somewhere, but there's so many things around here. Oh, here it is. Look. So this and this came together. And I just couldn't decide which one to buy. So I decided to buy these and the handbag. So the handbag has already been on its outing, its outing coming up here, on my return trip to my daughter. And then I decided I have a little cooler bag that usually goes on the Navy Nora's handle, but it's getting a bit tatty and old. But it's still usable. So but it will fit in here. And that looks much nicer than the outside of the other bag. So that's what I did. I bought it, and I had my lunchbox in it, and all my food coming up this way. So I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. And I absolutely love them. So that's the bags. That's what I was telling you. So that's why I was late going on my rounds, because I was too busy buying a bag. Well, what else? So we had a lovely time, Tracy and I, and it was a lovely day Friday, and then Saturday I wasn't coming back here, and I wasn't leaving home until quarter to 3. She was sitting in the house on Friday filling up her new handbag. Yes, I was, because I was so excited to have my nice new bright handbag. I know that when I go travelling, if I see somebody with nice bright colours, there was a lady on the platform one day and she'd got a rainbow coat on, and it just made me smile, and I just felt that's so nice. And I had to say hello and say how lovely her coat was. It just does something. So that's why I wanted the rainbow stuff. So I love the rainbow stuff. I might try and brighten Navy Nora up, because now I've got the new Cricut machine. I could do stuff and vinyl stickers on my Navy Nora. But there's something else coming. Hang on, what's this? Have you seen this? This is Deb saying, have you seen ski pass cards? They pull out of a self-retracting elastic like some sewing measuring tapes. All right, I know what you mean. 0 space between the clip on your jacket and the pass or key. Hubby pulls it and says, "My name is Barbie," as it retracts. Naughty. And Freeze It Park Life is going now. Night. Thank you for joining us, Freeze It Park Life. See you again soon. I don't think we've got Steve in the house yet, have we? Window cleaner Steve. He might not be around tonight. I don't know. But anyway. So I'm very excited with this, the springy thing, whatever you call it. I'm very pleased to have it. So now I just want to get another door key cut for my flat, and then I can have a door key on one of those as well. Or no, the door key can go on perhaps on the same one, or I might do a separate one. I might put it on a separate one in a different, so it goes into a different zip. Otherwise, I might end up having a knot between the radar key and the front door key. I can see there might be a problem coming there. Don't want a problem. Okay, and actually, when I put a picture up on this was the only shenanigans I had on Saturday, because I put a picture up of me using the of me with the bungee thing doing the door, and I wrote something and I did it voice to text. Now I can already hear Tracy and Deb's laughing here, and not Deb's, Tracy and Kath laughing because they saw the post I wrote. Well, I didn't write it. I dictated to. They know I dictate in my phone, and Siri writes it. Well, Siri has a very funny sense of humour sometimes, and obviously Friday was a day when Siri was having a sense of humour. So I was doing this while I was on the move, while I was travelling, and I put something up because somebody had said something about her radar key. How it was a good idea. That's right. Kath is saying it's so funny. So this person had put what a good idea it was, because she puts her radar key down on the side in the toilet and then forgets to pick it up. And when you go out of the toilet door locks because it's only for radar key users. Well, you see, that was the issue I had. I never wanted to put it down on the side because I thought I might do that. That's why. But if you're like me, when you're going into the toilet, and again, too much information, you're in urgent need of the toilet, and you haven't got time to flap about and get that key and put it back in a little pocket that's a bit hard to get into. That was the whole issue. But I knew that if I didn't put it away straight away before I went to the loo, I might leave it behind. Well, somebody commented on the post. Tracy said it's so funny. Your friend Jean says her son wishes her son a happy birthday for Tuesday. Please, happy birthday to Jean's son. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jean's son. Happy birthday to you for Tuesday. So back to the radar key. So this lady had said that she lost her radar keys that way, and so I was replying to her, and I can't remember what I meant to be saying, but Siri went off on one, and she wrote a load of rubbish, and then she wrote something and using the F word, FO words, and that's not my language. That's not what I do. And Tracy and Kath knew that's not what I do, and Jackie Hennessy was watching, and they all commented, but I didn't go back to looking at my Kath laughing so much there. I didn't look and see all my comments because I was traveling, and then when I was on the coach, I was watching YouTube and things like that, so I wasn't looking at my comments. So I didn't see for some hours, or quite a long time afterwards, that Kath and Tracy and Jackie were all trying to tell me that I might want to look at that post and do it. They guessed that it was Siri who was playing games, but anyway, we all had a good laugh about it. Your friend Jean Eastwood and Mary says hi. Hello, Mary and Jean. Siri went off on one. Siri certainly did go off on one. Siri is in serious trouble. Naughty, naughty Siri. But it did make you laugh, and it made me laugh too. So what's not to love? Now I'm going to have a bit more coffee because I need to, because I'm talking too much and my throat is getting dry. So anyway, as I say, my journey all went off with that, without much of a hitch. That was the only shenanigan, was the rude language that Siri thought that she ought to put on my Facebook page. Anyway, I have put comments on there now, and I think I don't remember what I did, but anyway, putting Siri in detention made me. That's what I put on the comments. I said, Siri's now in detention because she was so naughty. Anyway, I safely arrived at my destination station, and my daughter was there about 2 minutes after I got off the coach, and it took me back, and then I think, yes, that was pretty seamless, and we had Well, I was tired and she was tired, so we actually all had an early night last night. So not we didn't watch any of the programs that we like to watch when we're together. So we had an early night, and then of course we lost. We lost an hour last night, so the clocks went forward, and so my daughter has to get up at early on a Sunday because her daughter has a job at the riding stables, and my granddaughter has a job at the riding stables, and my daughter has to take her. So she has to get up and go out early, but then she comes back and goes back to bed. So we did that. So I was up long before my daughter this morning. And I had tried to prompt the children that it was Mother's Day and maybe they might want to make cards, but it didn't happen because I wasn't here and Daddy's away, and so I got up and I made some cards. I will put them up on. I haven't got them here; they're downstairs at the moment. And actually, one of the children made her own card. Two of them, I made the cards and they signed them. And the fourth child, she's the one that was out working, so I've made her card. I don't know if I showed you. Did I show you? I think I might have showed you at the beginning. This one I had to make very, very quickly because I had about 10 minutes to make this card. And this is the last one. I know it's nearly the end of Mother's Day, but she's got to give that to her mum. But she's in the bath. She's having a lovely long bath, and I told her to come and get it when she's finished, and then she can sign it and take it to Mummy. So, what's that one? Sadly, the shop Mobility in Huntingdon closed forever yesterday. Funding issues. They sold discount radar keys and all things for mobility users. But how sad is that? Not enough stuff is being done for people with mobility issues or disability issues, and it's a disgrace. I mean, I'm watching a lot of the Facebook pages and things to do with mobility around the country and accessibility and all those things. And people are being failed right, left and centre. It's a disgrace. And of course, Isle Access on the island, the charity that Jan ran, she's done 9 to 10 years of work on accessibility on the islands, and nobody's picking it up. And do you know what? And I'm going to say this publicly now because she's given me permission to do this. And Kath saying things are just getting harder for disabled people. Yes, they are. It is really getting hard. But I'm going to previously, this wasn't something that I was going to share, but I have asked Jan if it's okay if I share it because I think most of you know that I'm not a lover of Visit Isle of Wight because they've been very corrupt and do things corruptly. Well, they commissioned her to do some accessibility issues, like a report, or I don't know what you'd call it, but she did a lot of stuff around accessibility about which hotels were able to get into with a ramp or this and that, all those sorts of things that disabled people would want to know. And it affects tourism because if you have a disability, and I've said this before, if you have a disability and you're looking at the website for Visit Isle of Wight and you don't see the information, but you then click on Cornwall, for example, and they can tell you that this hotel's got, a lift, and that hotel's got this, and that coffee bar's got this. Where are you going to go on your holiday? You're going to go where they make it easy for you. So it's not rocket science. So Visit Isle of Wight are the people who are supposed to market the island. And Kath saying it's an absolute disgrace and a tragedy for people who need the help. Certainly is. And so it was about 2 years ago, I think, that Jan did all this work. So she went round to all these hotels. I don't know how many she went to, but she went to a lot of places to sort out and see accessibility, and she gave it back. Visit Isle of Wight paid her, as the head of Isle Access, paid the charity for her to do this work, which helped Isle Access, carry on a bit. But that money would have come from the people paying the levy that was brought about by corrupt means. So the levy payers gave the information to Jan, and then Visit Isle of Wight did sweet FA with it. Sorry. Ooh, sweet nothing. They have not put that information out anywhere. It's a total disgrace. You know, far from marketing the island, they're making it more difficult for people to come. Stratford don't even have a super report on accessibility too. That's brilliant, Debs. I need to be able to. Is that on a website somewhere that I can have a look at, Debs, to see how it should be being done? Because, you know, here is a disgrace. Our tourism is 26% down, and yet still Visit Isle of Wight are taking people to court for not paying their levy, but they're not getting the visitors here, you know. And I think I told you, you know, last week was English Tourism Week, and 5 days in a row there were some totally rubbish videos of Visit Isle of Wight marketing the island. Day one was the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight standing, mostly in the picture, at Freshwater Bay. Okay, so the water's behind him. When I was there 2 or 3 weeks, I wonder whether I gave him the idea of that. I don't know. Anyway, might be just coincidence that he was at Freshwater Bay in exactly the same place I had stood 2 or 3 weeks earlier. But when I stood there, I went to the side, I stood there, and then I went to the side so you could see the sea. And I panned the camera around and I said, over there is the Gate Cafe, and behind me is the Albion Hotel. And I showed the places that were there. He stood in the middle. Siri's on one again, says Tracy. And have I done something? Is there something else I need to look at, Tracy, or are you just referring back to the other one? So anyway, I was pretty miffed at this way of marketing. It was English Tourism Week as well, and he's just standing there saying, I'm the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight and we need this money, and this is, you know, a whole load of figures, rather than actually move out of the way, show us how beautiful the island is, and people might want to come. The second day, Julie Jones-Evans, I know I've said this, but I'm going to say it again. Julie Jones-Evans, who's she's the council member for tourism on the Isle of Wight Council, but she also sits on the board of Visit Isle of Wight, which to me is a total conflict of interest. And she has a business that should be on the levy list and certainly wasn't 4 years ago when the new levy came in. So, you know, I say no more. Think about that one. So she stood on the beach, on Sandown Beach, with a big teacup on her head. Now, I absolutely loved the teacup. You know I like things on my head. So I would love a teacup on my head, a great big teacup. It was a beautiful teacup she'd made. That's not the problem. The problem was she stood on the beach, a totally empty beach, and talking about this beach and, you know, wonderful Isle of Wight, and it's just my cup of tea. But she did not reference the cafes that were nearby on the esplanade, the people paying the levy. She didn't reference, you know, there were no people on the beach. As my grandchildren said, you know, make it look like it's a place people want to come or people do come. Anyway, that was that. There was another one. So then, did I say Gogglebox? No, I don't watch Gogglebox. No, it was you saying sweet F. Oh, yeah. Tracy saying Siri will be on one again because I said sweet FA. Yes, I didn't say anything rude, but I expect Siri would make something out of that, I am sure. Anyway, going back to, so there were actually, I think there were 6 videos went out. So the first one was Will Miles, who was the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight. The second one was Julie Jones-Evans, the Councillor for Tourism. The one who pushed the bid through and said, I'm, you know, in the meeting said, well, I'm not going to read everything out, but, you know, we haven't got time on this agenda, but I just want you to vote for it, she said to the cabinet members, and they fell for that one. I didn't, but they did. So anyway, so the third day was Richard Quigley, who's the MP for Isle of Wight West. And he stood in Cowes High Street, and he filled more of the screen than I'm filling now. Right, so he was like this, a bit more like this, right up close. And he was talking about Cowes being great and all the wonderful shops. But you couldn't see the shops. All you could see was him, like this. You'll dig out a link for me. Thank you, Debs. That's kind. So, yeah, so I put under the LinkedIn message, I said, maybe you could show us the shops. You know, because I've been around Cowes and I've been in some of those shops and I've been with my camera in those shops showing them off. So anyway, that was the third one. The fourth one, I think, it doesn't matter if I got them in the wrong order. The fourth one was a lady named Claire, and she has a company that bring coach trips to the island. And she said, she was filling the whole screen, nothing to see behind. And she was a nice enough lady, and she was saying, yes, we like the Isle of Wight, we like the red squirrels, and we bring our people here. That was fine. But then she ended up by saying, oh, and I don't know what else to say. And I'm not quite sure how professional that is. I mean, I'm not knocking the lady. I'm knocking Visit Isle of Wight, who actually should have cut that bit off the end of the video or redone it, because it wasn't the girl's fault. So Tracy's going to go and have a bath and early night. So you'll catch up on replay. Night, Tracy. See you soon. Thanks for your input. And thanks for my lovely springy key fob thing, whatever you call it. And so that was Will and Julie and Richard and then Claire, and then there was another one from Richard Quigley, and he stood on Gurnard Beach and again was saying not on the beach. He stood with the sea in the background and a beach hut, and he was talking about it's great here, but not showing much of it. Absolutely show it. Show the beauty of the island. Don't just tell people, they won't take it by just telling them. You've got to actually show them as well. But what do I know about it? I mean, don't know any of these things, do I? Anyway, so that's what he did. And then there was another one from Richard Quigley, and this one he was standing at the side like this, and there was Waterloo Station, I think it was, in the background, and he says it takes, I can't remember, I think 3 hours or 3.5 or 2.5, whatever. He was saying it takes 3, let's say it was 3 hours, 3 hours to get from here, and then you see him with the water in the background again. But he's not saying you can get from London to the Isle of Wight in 3 hours. He's not making it as clear as possible for people to understand. I mean, each time I watch one, I got more and more sad that this is what our levy payers are paying for. All this absolute rubbish. Do it properly. Ask the MP if there could be a referendum of all voters for the bid and its value for money. Well, and you know what, Debs? I don't know, he runs a hospitality business in Cowes. Well, he did. I don't know if he still does. I need to do my homework. But if he does, he should be a levy payer and should be on the list. Now, I haven't got the current list, but I have just done a Freedom of Information to get it. I had awful shenanigans with the Visit Isle of Wight website, and they've changed the website to a new website. And I had a struggle to get on in the first place, and then I had a struggle even to find my way around it. So I don't think they've done a great job with the Isle of Wight website either, but don't even get me started on that. Cass saying, yes, Deb, but I bet they are too scared to, as they may not like the result. Well, they may not, and that's it. I mean, obviously, Richard Quigley's working with Visit Isle of Wight, isn't he? So, it's ranks closing, isn't it? And then the final one was the new the chair of Visit Isle of Wight, and I don't know much about him, but again, he was standing in front of Apley Tower, not going on about how wonderful Apley Tower was, but talking about figures and tourism figures and that, and actually bring it down to grassroots level, to language that people understand. Don't burble on about all these figures and things. Actually get out of the way and say, look, here's our newly refurbished Apley Tower with all its history, and it's like a little museum on the Esplanade. It's an amazing place, but it's not happening. It's not happening. And while this is going on, I'm hearing from levy payers who've just had a summons because they haven't paid their bill. And they want to know what they're getting, and one of these he didn't pay because he wrote and asked them what he was actually getting for his money, and they're supposed to put that on hold while that's sorted out. And he asked that months ago, and he never had a reply, but they just sent another thing saying, well, you now owe us this money. So they put another charge, they slapped another charge on top because he didn't pay. But actually they haven't done what they're supposed to do, because they are supposed to answer him before it progresses, and they haven't. you know, breaking the rules all the way around. Why not? So anyway, that was English Tourism Week. They didn't do much to promote the tourism superstar. Once or twice they put about the thing out saying vote for us. I did take it upon myself to ask a lot of people to vote, and I know a lot of you did vote, and I'm very grateful. But we didn't win. We didn't come second, and we didn't come third. They are a corrupt organisation. Certainly are, Kath, and you know, they really should be so ashamed of what they're doing to some of these small businesses. A lot of our small businesses have closed, and part of the fact would have been the levy. And I was talking to Helen in the wool shop. She's not, because they don't do retail, she's not part of it. But she just said her council. So some of these businesses will be paying council tax, you know, the business tax, whatever it is, and the tour and the levy. And she was saying that the council have just put up their business rates. I think it was. They've just put it up, and they also have to pay for bin collection, the rubbish. They have to pay extra for the rubbish. And she said if business doesn't improve, she's going to go out of business. She'll have to close because she won't be able to afford it. So the thing is, it's so short-sighted, because if you make it so difficult for the businesses to survive, then they're going to go out of business, and then you're not going to collect any business rates because there's nobody to pay them. If you've driven the businesses out, that is not rocket science, is it? Is it? You know, it's not that easy, difficult to understand, is it? Anyway, so that was all that. So let's move swiftly on from that. And what else have I been up to? Oh, let me show you. I know Tracy's gone, but she might decide she wants this bag, because you know she's always earning gold stars with me, and maybe she should have this bag. So this bag was given to me. It was given to me as a Mother's Day present. It was given to me at the wedding weekend when we were together. So my son and his fiance, not the one who got married, but the other one, gave me this bag, and in it was this. So this is a cricket mat. This is a spare mat for my cricket machine. And inside I had some tins. Look, so I had tins. They look like they're cakes or sweetie tins, but I'm putting craft stuff in them. So a tin within a tin. So that they were nice tins there. And another tin, and another tin to go in that one. But I've been putting some cutout shapes in here for my crafting. And in here I've put, I'm not going to tip it right up, but there are a lot of little hearts, little gem hearts there that I was putting on greetings cards before. And so they're all in there. So I'm tidying them up and they're not going all over the floor. Well, that's the theory anyway. So they're not doing that. So that was that. And then Tristan sent me another present. He sent me a present. So that was from Tristan and his fiance. And then he sent me another present. And look, this is what he sent me. He said he walked into a shop and it was so me. I should put on a video course for all those waiting to promote the island. Make the levy managers pay. Well, let me tell you something, Debs. I don't know if I've told you this story, but you know, people who know I don't like Visit Isle of Wight might think I don't like them for the wrong reasons. I don't like them because they're corrupt, because they didn't give the people ballot papers, because they didn't put the information out there so that they knew what was going on. They published a business plan, but they didn't publish it. They put it online and nobody knew it was there. Well, one or two of us knew it was there, but it was never published. All those sorts of corruption things. That's why I don't like Visit Isle of Wight. They were rude to me when I was trying to raise questions. They were trying to obstruct me from, you know, finding out information. So that's a bit of a reason why I don't like them. But Debs is saying you should put on a video course for all those wanting to promote the island. Make the levy managers pay. Well, of course, Debbie knows my son, Tristan, and she knows how good he is on social media. Now, he's the reason that I am the Go Live Granny. I was nicknamed the Go Live Granny by somebody else, but he was the one who taught me to live stream. And he taught me to live stream because Visit Isle of Wight weren't doing it, and they were so rubbish at promoting the island starting back in 2016, that he decided that I should be out there live streaming, and he taught me, and that's why I'm actually here sitting talking to you today, because he was the one who taught me. Sorry, I got to sort myself out. My cushion's gone a bit wonky. There we go. So he taught me to live stream. But you love my bag. It is very me. Yes. Let's go back. I'll go back. So my bag, he walked into a shop and he saw that. I said, was it the purple handles? Can you see they're purple? He said, well, yes, the purple handles attracted me. He said, but this is so me as well. The colours, and this is like patchwork, and this is the sort of thing I would have cut out, shapes and things like this. So that is so me. And I'm actually using this as a knitting bag. I've got the lovely knitting bag that Jan gave me, which I use going backwards and forwards on the train because it's just a nice size. And it says, knitting keeps me from unraveling. I've got another bag here that says, if I can't take my knitting, I'm not going. That's one that my now daughter-in-law and my son bought me some years ago. But I have so many knitting projects, so it's okay to have all these lovely knitting bags. And so this one, I've got 3 balls of this wool, this lovely rainbow. Whoops! Oh dear, I'm losing my ears. And this, I'm going to be making this. A friend has asked me if I would make her this cardigan, so I'm going to put that in, start that around in between my other projects. But I might have to buy some longer knitting needles because I need to cast on 256 needles, and I usually do work that's much shorter, but 256 stitches, not needles. And I usually have done smaller stuff, so I'm going to put that in there with the wool, and then I've got to get the right. Oh dear, I might have to go to Hobbycraft because I'm away. I would go into Isle of Wool, but I'm away and I need the needles now. So I do spend a lot in Isle of Wool, and that's where I would normally get them, but I just got to get some knitting needles and get that started. And now I've forgotten what I was going to tell you. Because we got diverted onto, I know, let's take this off. Gosh, I'm hot, so hot. Let me open the door a bit. I don't know whether the cats will come and try and get in. They probably will, because they usually do. I don't really like the cats all that much, certainly not in my bedroom, but I'm so hot I need to open the door. That's it. I'm just opening the door. I'm too hot. My daughter was just checking if I was all right. Yeah, I got too hot. Oh yes, actually, yeah. She's good. I tell you what, I'll stand here. She needs to go past. Whoops. Hang on. Let me go like this. My daughter's just going to go and open the window for me, and then we can shut the door. And then I don't need the cat. Oh yes, yeah. No, that one will do. Yes. Oh, I didn't. Yes, she's going to open a window. So there we go. What are you doing? I'm getting a bit flushed. I am getting a bit flushed, yes. I can do this on the couch. There we are. She's sorting me out. Thank you. Let me get by. All right? Yes. Just about. She's a bit shy. She doesn't want to be seen on camera. I don't know. Whoops. I don't mind. Oh, she doesn't mind. All right. Say hello. There we go. You might get a cat there. Oh, shut that now. If I've got the window open, I'll be fine. Yeah, okay. There we go. Right, folks. So I'm a bit cooler now because I can feel some air coming. This seems to be the warmest room in the house, but I keep the door shut because of the cats. But then it does get very hot. And of course, I should have put a t-shirt on, but I put a jumper on, and that was a bit silly. So anyway, back to, what was I talking about? I was talking about something to do with Visit Isle of Wight. Oh yes, it's what Deb said. I should put a video course on. Right, okay. So some years ago, I attended it was like some sort of digital conference on the Isle of Wight. And I was there and I was making digital content while we were sitting there. this was a long time before a lot of other people did that. Hang on, I've just got to adjust the camera's slipping a bit. Wait a minute, I'm moving it. Tell you what, I've got the wire in because I needed to charge the battery, but we've got enough battery power. Let's put you back up there. Can I see all right? I think so. Let's come a bit forward. That's it. Okay. I didn't try going landscape today because every time I try to go landscape, it tips it the other way. I need to find out why my phone is doing that. I don't know why it's doing that at all. Anyway, it starts off there, and then when I look away and look back, it goes into landscape. So not a good idea to have me standing on my head or sitting sideways. Anyway, yes. So some years ago, yes, this was. I can't remember what year. I can't remember all the years, but I was at this digital conference for people on the island, and we were all at round tables. It was out at Cowes Yacht Haven, a big venue there, and we were on various different tables, and we were discussing all sorts of things to do with tourism. It was a lot of different people there. And I was videoing and taking photographs for social media and all that. Well, I'd obviously been noticed by Chris Ashman, who was the lead for regeneration on the island. And sometime later, he asked me if I would put something together to help local businesses on the Isle of Wight to raise their profile, sort of thing. And so I said, well, I'm okay. I said, but really, my son is the one you really need to engage with, because he's the one that taught me what I know. And he was doing amazing things with other people in their businesses. And so we arranged to have a meeting with Chris Ashman. And yes, we had this meeting arranged, and Tristan wasn't living on the island, so he was coming to the island for that appointment on that day, and then he had to leave soon after and catch the ferry back again. He was a very busy man and got to be somewhere else. So we organised this, and on the day, Chris Ashman said, oh, I need to change the time of the appointment. I said, no. We've had this booked in for ages, and Tristan can only do that slot, and then he has to go. So he stuck with it. But you see, to him, he could just mess us about. No, he couldn't. I wouldn't allow him to mess us about. So we had the meeting, and Tristan had I know I'm his mum, but he had this amazing proposal for businesses on the island. So he I was impressed. So he put together this thing. Now, there was a budget for this. And obviously, I do a lot of my work for free, but I can't expect Tristan to, he can't pay his way if he does a lot of work and doesn't get paid for it. He does do a lot of work for charities and things like me, but he also needs to obviously have an income. Now, don't forget, they approached us. We didn't approach them. And so Tristan came up with this wonderful plan, and the idea was, so basically Chris Ashman wanted me to start something in September, start working with the businesses in September, and report back to them at the next digital conference in the November. So that was not a long time, but I think you're talking about 1,500 businesses or something like that on the island, and the council were going to pay. They had a budget that they were going to do this. So he said, if it came in, there's a certain level when it doesn't have to be tendered for, right? At a certain level, they can say, right, yes. Chris Ashman himself said, if you come in under this level, I don't have to ask anybody else's permission for this to happen. I can tick the box and let it go ahead. So that's what he said. So anyway, Tristan went away and did his homework, and then he came back and chatted with me. And the whole plan was that he would do a lot of video courses, like you're saying, Debs, so that people could access them whenever they wanted. Because, of course, the difficulty is if you run an event where somebody's got to leave their cafe to go over here to learn something about how to improve their business, they have got to employ somebody to be there when they're not there. They've got their travelling time, they've got all those issues. Whereas if you put online courses, they can access them when it is convenient to them. You know, because not everybody's all available at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon or 3 o'clock in, you know, whatever, if you know what I'm saying. So it was brilliant. He's done a lot of teaching, a lot of people on social media. He's amazing, got some amazing results from some people. And so, you know, it's thank you, Denise, but I think that probably you can see that I'm actually chatting now here with my audience. So please, I prefer you not to try and overtake my live stream. Thank you very much. Okay, so there we go. So anyway, blocked, user was blocked. Right, sorry folks, sorry about that. Anyway, so let's see. So yes, so he came up with this wonderful plan, and about how, you know, he could break it down into lots of little modules that people could learn just from the basics upwards. Because the Isle of Wight was very behind on social media. I mean, we're talking 2016 when a lot of people were not up to the level they are now. You know, it was still quite new. So we were going to do it bit by bit, slowly. So hang on, let's just take, I want to delete that comment as well. Thank you. Don't want that rubbish on here. So I'd love to know which camera to use to overhead film crafting project. Anyone has any ideas, please? Yeah, Debs, I need the same sort of thing. And I need to find to do just because I want to do some videoing of my crafting that some of you have asked for, and I just need to know how to present that. So Debs, we will ask Tristan that one. Anyway, going back to this, so he was going to set up all these videos, online stuff, all the training, and I was going to go around to all the businesses and handhold them. So if they didn't know how to use Twitter as it was then, or if they didn't know how to put something on Facebook or whatever, I was going to go and visit all those businesses on the island that were involved in the scheme and help them. Chris Ashman thought it was a wonderful thing, and it was a wonderful thing. I was impressed, and I thought, wow, this will be really good. And it's going to be at no cost to the business owners because the council were going to fund it. Okay, so I think we had our meeting in about February. And so February came and went, March came and went, April came and went, May came and went. I know it was early part of the year, but all these, by the time we got to June, I said to Tristan, we need to know what's happening, because we heard nothing. You know, I mean, this is the professionalism. We heard nothing. And I said, we need to know, because if it's a yes, I've got to onboard 1,500 businesses. I might be pretty good, but I'm not that good. And, you know, I might find it difficult to onboard 1,500 businesses in a day, which is what it was going to look like. You know, we were losing time on actually getting the thing out there if it's what was going to happen. So we then had to, I said to Tristan, come on, I need time. I need to know what's happening. So he got back in touch with Chris Ashman, and Chris Ashman said, oh, hello, Tracy. Another Tracy coming in there. Tracy Harrion, nice to see you. So he said, oh, I've got to go and check with people. Now, this is the same guy who said to us, if you come in under a certain amount, you don't have to go to tender. I can tick the box and say it's okay. We came in under that amount. And he's then saying, no, I have to go and get it checked out. And so Tristan said, well, who are you checking with? And can you hazard a guess, any of you, as to who he went to check with? I'm going to drink my coffee while see if anybody can hazard a guess. Some of you might know the answer to this if I've had a private conversation with you already, or if I've ever said it online. But I'm going to drink my coffee and see if anybody can guess while I'm drinking my coffee. I don't think you're going to guess this one. So anyway, let me carry on. So he had to go and check Now, bearing in mind, he came to me, he asked me to do something to help the council to get the Isle of Wight promoted. He said, Visit Isle of Wight. Hang on a minute. Visit Isle of Wight is a private company. We are private people over here. That's a competitor. We're competitors. Oh, let's go and ask the competitor if they want you. How does that one work? I didn't approach them. They approached me. So they went to Visit Isle of Wight, and Visit Isle of Wight said, oh, no, we do all that stuff. Barney, they haven't trained anybody any time that I know about. They even lied about their marketing company to me, their social media company to me. They lied when I asked them if it was somebody on the island, and they said, oh, yes. And then Tristan Googled it, and the company was on the mainland. You know, it might have changed now, but they were on the mainland. Good evening, Ailey. Roses for all mothers and grandmothers and all the ladies. We'll have the roses for all the ladies because some of them may not be mummies, but we want to include them all. Nice to see you, Ailey. So Visit Isle of Wight said no, and the other one they went to was the Chamber of Commerce. Well, the Chamber of Commerce didn't like me, because I got out and did some stuff. There were certain, I won't say the whole of the Chamber of Commerce, because the Chamber of Commerce has got lots of lovely members who I know very well. But the people at the time, and we're going back a while, the people at the time certainly didn't like me. There was somebody at the Chamber of Commerce, I won't mention a name, but there was somebody who tried to ban me live streaming in a business expo. And he said, you can't live stream in here. And I said, why not? And he said, oh, it's a private event. I said, oh, is it? I said, well, I tell you what, you show me the rules and I will abide by them. You know, I'm not taking it as verbal. I want it seen written down. And while you're doing that, I'll go and do some live streaming. Because, of course, it wasn't anywhere. It was a public event that they had advertised all over the island. But I don't know what it was. Maybe I've had a lot of people be funny to me because of my live streaming. I wonder if it's a jealousy thing. I didn't say, you can't live stream in here, only I can live stream. To my mind, the more publicity these events get, the better. If I'd seen a big sign that said, we don't want you doing it, I would have abided by it probably. I would have thought it was odd. But, the businesses inside the Business Expo, they'd paid hundreds of pounds to the Chamber of Commerce to have a stand there. If I come along and say, oh, can I take your video and I want to put it out on social media so everybody can see what you're doing, do you think they said no? No, they didn't. They were all happy for me to live stream. And I wasn't doing it for money. I was doing it for love. Because to me, this is not about making money. I mean, obviously, with that thing that Chris Ashman asked us about, Tristan obviously has to earn an income, but not for me. Good morning, Hazel. Lovely to see you coming in there from Australia. Nice to have you here. It's Mother's Day over here. Do you celebrate Mother's Day? I don't think you celebrate it on the same day, do you, Hazel, there as we do here? But we've just finishing Mother's Day here. And also we put our clocks forward last night. So, we're into British summertime now. So it was nice to have the later, it getting dark later tonight. That was really nice. So you can see now, some people will say I'm fighting the cause against Visit Isle of Wight because I didn't get that contract. No. Oh, you celebrate in May. All right. So that you've still got yours ahead of you. Excellent. Not at all. It wasn't at all. I didn't put myself forward for that sort of contract. That Chris Ashman came to me, but obviously Chris Ashman thought it was more important to side with the big boys. Okay, side with the big boys. But I'm going to rattle your cage for a long time, because if you're being corrupt, I'm going to keep rattling the cage. While there's still breath in my body to rattle a cage, that's what I'm going to do. After all, the chair of Visit Isle of Wight, the last chair, not the current chair, Ian Griffiths, he told me he removed me from a Zoom meeting because I was going to be disruptive. So far, I haven't. But he ain't seen anything yet, except he's not there anymore. Somebody else is now the chair. But my gripe is I hate corruption. And if you don't give people ballot papers, and if you don't tell them they're part of a system, that is corruption. Big, and, you know, it's corruption. So anyway, so how did I get on my hobby horse again? I don't know. Anyway, so as I say, some people will think that I'm doing sour grapes because we didn't get a contract back then. I didn't go for a contract. It was somebody approached me. Also, the council said to me when I said, you know, how come you let Visit Isle of Wight do this? They said, well, there was no other proposal. Well, there actually was another proposal, because there was our proposal, and so Visit Isle of Wight didn't have to tender. You know, if we had gone over that price, we would have had to tender to do what they wanted us to do, and that Visit Isle of Wight didn't have to tender at all. They were handed on a plate the marketing, and I wouldn't mind if they were doing the job. But here we are into year 9, and we're 26% down on our tourism. I would say they're not doing a very good job. They will say, oh, it's the ferry prices. No, it's not at all, because there are, yes, the ferry prices do prevent some people, but there are ways of getting to the island without paying the ferry price. That if you just go on to the ferries and book a ticket, lots of the accommodation providers have discounts for the ferries. You could promote the island as being a holiday destination where you don't bring a car, because we've got very good bus links. We've got the train, you know, the train does part of the island, and the bus links. It's pretty easy to get to a lot of places around the island, and it would be a different experience, wouldn't it? You know, let the buses and trains take the strain. And of course, you can get good, if you have a rail card like I do, you can get discounted train tickets as well. And you know, I mean, I go from the Isle of Wight, so I go from the seafront in the Isle of Wight, and I catch the hover, and then I get the train at Portsmouth and Southsea, and I come to Wiltshire. So I've crossed the water, and I've, you know, done the trains, and I've got to Wiltshire, and usually for one way I don't pay much more than £30, and then often I get my money back because there's been a train delay. So the crossing the water is the expensive bit, but if you put it in with a train ticket, now you see, this could be a fantastic thing for marketing the island. You know, build it as a holiday where you don't bring the car, where you know, you can do all these things, and it would be, you know, a different experience. Why not do that? Ailey's saying she found her mother's drinking glass today. Anyone remember Babycham? Yes, I do. Special glasses with the little deer. Your mum did charity knitting for 70 years. Blankets for the Salvation Army and the homeless shelter. Excellent. And Kath saying she remembers Babycham. I had one of those glasses at one stage as well. I don't think it's around anymore, but I did have. I remember having one. I used to have one of those, you know, glass-fronted cabinets where you put all your glass and your special china and all that, but I don't have all that anymore. But yeah, so what was I saying? Yes. So when I've talked to people about, you know, why they let Visit Isle of Wight go a second term, Cherry B, Kath saying as well. I don't remember Cherry B, but I do remember Babycham. Hi, Elizabeth. So yes, so these, so this, when it came to the second term for Visit Isle of Wight, I was told, well, that, you know, there is nothing else. Well, that's if you don't allow somebody else to come in with the proposal, or you don't listen to it when they do, that's not right either, is it? You know, but what people would say is that I'm against them because I didn't get that contract. No, I'm not, because I never went out for that contract. That was not something I was interested in. I wanted the island promoted properly so that we got people coming to our island, so our local businesses survive. I've always been a community person, and if the local businesses don't survive, you know, that's our people, you know, ending up on benefits and things like that when they're really working hard to, you know, for a living. So that's where I'm coming from, and I just well, every which way I look, there was corruption with it. It was presented. Only 11 members of the council vote on it. 2 or 3 were against it, but I know that somebody was persuaded to vote because the Councillor for Tourism said, well, I voted for your thing, so you have to vote for my thing. No, that's not that's playground stuff. Anyway, let's move on. What else have I been doing? I have been having fun, lots of fun. So what have I today? I've been making Mother's Day cards. I sorted out some stuff at home. You're now watching while getting sorted. Had a quick shout. Ooh, I came in at the right time, Lynn. You got on your hobby horse. I did, and I told the story. I've told it in more. I've put more details in. I'm not frightened. Oh, but I know what. Yes, I think I told the bit, didn't I, about I think I told it earlier, didn't I, about Visit Isle of Wight not putting the disability stuff on the website. And that's actually so wrong, because Jan did so much work to find out the disability information for tourists who might come to the island. And now I don't know where it's collecting dust, but it's certainly not on the Visit Isle of Wight's website. And, I was also heard from her that she did a video for them. They wanted her to do a video, and she did a video around isolation and disability and that sort of thing. And it seemed that Will, who's the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight, told her they'd done it wrong, and he wanted a different video. And they were actually doing it in the way that actually you really do. He didn't want really to know much about the disability of people. And he's the CEO of the Visit Isle of Wight. Right, let's get off that subject. Let's show you what I've got on my table. So here's a craft set I was using earlier. So I was making these cards for my daughter from the grandchildren. So I made 3 lovely cards. One of the grandchildren made her own. So Elizabeth's saying she feels like these people are all like kindergarten children. They are, and they were bullies, and they were trying. Sorry, I've gone back onto that subject, but they've tried to bully me. They took me out of meetings because I was, they were getting hot under the collar because I was on their case. So they removed me from a meeting and said that I was going to be disruptive. I am going to be disruptive. I'm going to do whatever I can to expose what's going on, with a little help from a lot of friends. I've got people now who will speak up. The trouble is, you see, the business owners didn't want to speak up because they didn't want a black mark against the name. They didn't want the hassle. They're trying to run a business, and it's just, they just need to get on and run their businesses. Anyway, right. Kath says she feels like that now, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth's saying, I feel like all people in power are all corrupt. Yes, and some of these people are people who used to be friends of mine, and now I've seen them go down the corruption lane. You have a free website for wheelchairs. When family die, people put disability items on the free website in Inverness. That's good. But Ailey, is there a website that people can go on to see how accessible things in your area are? Because that's the information that people need in order to book a holiday. They need to know when they get there, are they going to be able to have some accommodation where they can get in if they're in a wheelchair, or whether if they've got vision impairment, is it going to be suitable for them, or whatever the disability is. There's so many things. It needs to, the more I read, the more, because obviously I'm watching a lot of disability, accessibility, all those sorts of things. I'm following a lot of those things online now. And it seems to be that a lot of it's getting worse, not better. And we have a lot of people with, with those sort of issues. And what about Tammy Gray Thompson that time on the train? She didn't get passenger assistance. She's got no legs, and she had to get off the train on her own with her wheelchair somehow. I don't know how she did it, but I do remember reading about that, and I just think this is not okay. I'm quite lucky, because if my passenger assist people are not there, usually there's a passenger who will help. You know, but this time, this journey, I had lovely station staff, passenger assistants. They all got good stuff. Oh, and what I was going to say, folks, is this has brightened my day. So many of you know I bought the Cricut machine to do the crafting for my son's and his wife's wedding. But I now need to make it earn its keep, and it does all sorts of things. I mean, I bought it for cutting lettering out in vinyl. That was the initial thing I needed it for, but I knew it did a lot more. So I've been watching tutorials and I was learning about making stickers and doing all sorts of different things. And I suddenly decided, well, I know previously when I had my website, and my other website sort of, it's being done, but it's being done slowly because Tristan has got so much else on his plate at the moment. I did remember to put my clock forward. Thank you, Ailey. Kath saying she doesn't think accessibility has ever been good enough, but it now feels like it is getting even worse. Absolutely, it is. Who was I having a conversation with? Was it you? I can't remember who I was having a conversation with. And many years ago, when my mum was using a mobility scooter, she got one of the counsellors to go out with her so that she could show the issues of non-drop curbs and things like that. And I don't know how many years ago that was. That was many, many years ago. And nothing much has improved. You know, it's so difficult for people. And, you know, you'll have seen me trying to cross a road when they took the traffic, when the traffic lights were out of order, and then some people being rude to me because they could. But, you know, I was just highlighting the accessibility or non-accessibility of the issue. If you put the traffic lights out and then you put barrier across and say, don't cross here. Okay, so are you going to put sky hooks up and let me swing across the road? What do you reckon? No, you just don't care. So it is awful, and there are more people with issues. But the thing is, if you don't look after the people with accessibility needs, the suicide rates will go up. Because I'm not saying I'm suicidal, and if I don't get it, you know, I'm not. But there are people. What will happen is, and I was saying this to the nice passenger assist people and saying, you know, when passenger assist don't get it right, people will stop going out because it's too much hassle to get on that train and off that train. I don't want to go. I'm going to sit at home. And then, not me personally, but this is how some people will think. They'll sit at home, they'll get out, they'll be in isolation. They'll become isolated because they're not going out because other people make it too difficult. And then they'll get fed up and then they might become suicidal. It's not, you know, it's not rocket science. It's not, you know, you don't need to have some super brain to work that one out. You've got to look after people. And if you don't, the suicide rates will go up. It's already too high, the suicide. And of course, I'm talking from a place where you know, I know about this because one of my brothers took his life. And, you know, it's not okay. The Isle of Wight let him down badly, very badly. And I read more and more about people taking their own lives, and it's just horrible. So, you know, we need to just keep on. I've always said it, Lynn, I would never go out to, it was too much hassle. You see, so yes, for Elizabeth, and that's not okay. It's not okay for Elizabeth to feel that she doesn't want to go out because it's hassle. It should never be hassle. And so it is one of the causes I'm fighting. You know, I mean, obviously I can't fight all the causes, but the Isle of Wight one and the general accessibility, because I'm using the trains, I can highlight that more, you know, about my journeys and just link with people who can, you know, if the people all link together, then maybe we can get something done. But I do feel very bad, you know, very much about it. I was on a train, I told you before, when we stopped at Cosham. And I could see that somebody was on a mobility scooter on the platform. Cosham didn't seem to be a very busy station, not a main station. And I could see this person was waiting to get on the train. And I was waiting for somebody, you know, some member of staff to come and help and put the ramp or whatever. And nobody appeared. And by the time I realised what was happening, so I jumped up I was going to push the button and open the door to see if I could wave to somebody, you know, a guard or something who should be looking to see what's happening, and you know, so that maybe this guy could get assistance. But by the time I'd done that, they'd already locked the train doors, so I couldn't get the train door open, and the train went, leaving this poor person on the platform in his mobility scooter. And it made me feel so sad, because that's not a society I want to belong to. I want a society where everybody cares. We in our community here have a lovely group of people. I mean, I did have to block somebody earlier who was trying to interrupt into our lovely community here. So I blocked the person, and then I removed the post, because it obviously was not something that was actually, you know, something nice that we wanted going on in here. Check with the Salvation Army for help with disability items. If they don't have what you need, they will definitely get contact information and will deliver to your door. Thank you, Ailey, for free. I know a man in his 80s got a free disability scooter delivered to his door and got a free fix for 1 year if required. Thank you for that, Ailey, because it's exchange of information that's always so helpful, isn't it? If we share what we know, then, you know, other people will be able to, you know, let other people know. So you've told me that, you know, somebody might share this video, and then somebody else might see that and be able to help somebody else in need who wasn't even watching our broadcast in the first place. So it is sharing the information. And you know, Jan did some amazing work on the island. I am so sad, and I need to try and, you know, get onto the councillors and say, look, she's done 9 or 10 years of work. Somebody needs to pick up that work and carry on with it. You know, so the West White's sports centre is taken over the Isle Access swimming, and somebody else, I'm not quite sure who's taking on the Isle Access cycling. But that's the only part of the Isle Access that's actually going on. Poor Jan herself has now got health, you know, issues. She's given up because she's got personal health issues herself, and just, I can't believe that nobody is coming forward to pick up and carry on the fantastic work that she's done year in and year out. You know, just anyway, hopefully I will, if I talk to enough people, someone somewhere along the line might be the right person we need for the connection. That's why I always talk to everybody, because you always get information that way. And so going back, just takes one person to set up a website page and ask for any free donations. Thank you for that, Ailey. Anyway, I'm going back to tell you about the cricket machine. So I've got to make this machine work for its keep. And so I decided that I wanted to try something. I don't know what you think, but those of you who you know, I had a website before, and the website will be coming back, but you know, in its own time, because it's, you know, it's not a priority. So keep the faith. I do keep the faith very much, Ailey. So on that website before, you could order, I think it was a Go Live Granny knitting bag or something like that, wasn't it? And it was a very ethical company that we linked with, an Isle of Wight company, and Tristan knew the people who run the business. They were a couple of young lads when they started. They were just about 20 or something when they started their business, and they very entrepreneurial, and it was an eco-friendly t-shirt business, and it's now grown and grown, and they've won a lot of awards. And so on our website, on my website, we had a link to their website, and if you wanted to Go Live Granny knitting bag, for example, it would only be made when you placed the order. So it wasn't like I had a pile of those bags sitting here that people wanted, or if they didn't want them, that you know, that was just a pile of stuff here. It was only that they were only made when anybody wanted one. Oh, there we are. Ailey's saying she had a Go Live Granny t-shirt and bag. There we go. So I don't know whether anybody wants them, but I tell you what I was thinking, because in the past I'd had somebody had done me some Go Live Granny stickers to go on something. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and make some Go Live Granny stickers. And I was having a joke with, so on the last part of my train journey yesterday, Where did I get on? I got on. No, the last part was Reading to my destination. That was coach. So it was a bit from Basingstoke to Reading. And who did I? What was his name? Oh, Richard. Richard was the guard on that train. And I said, oh, come on, let's have a picture. You've helped me, and you've helped me up on the ramp. Let's take a picture for social media. I like to tell everybody what a good service I'm having, so I like to sing your praises. So he let me put his picture on Facebook, but he doesn't do Facebook. So he said, oh, when will that be up? He said, I don't do Facebook, but she who must be obeyed does Facebook. So anyway, I said, oh, well, I can put it up in a minute if you like. As long as I got the signal, I can put it up. So I put it up while I was on the journey, and he came back. He says, yeah, is it up yet? I said, yes. So he sent a message to she who must be obeyed, and she looked it up and saw it. The bags are very useful with plenty of room inside. Thank you, Ailey. And so... yes, so he was delighted, but I got to talking about stickers, Go Live Granny stickers, because I told him how I became the Go Live Granny, and he said yes. He said, look, here's my little bag. He was showing me his little pouch where he kept his phone and his bits and pieces, and he said, look, I'd like a little sticker to go just there on that bit. So hello Richard. So I'm going to be trying to make Go Live Granny stickers as a starter. I don't know how I'll get on. I'll give it a go. I'm watching all the tutorials and see. But it then could be that I maybe can make myself a Go Live Granny T-shirt or something like that. Because I'm having a go. I've got a little heat press. I've ordered a little heat press from Hobbycraft that should come tomorrow, and I ordered it because there's another deal. There's a deal that finishes tonight, and I might just go and look at the Hobbycraft site in a minute before I go to bed, because there was, me, I'm always looking for the bargains, and so what I want to do was I've been wanting to have a little heat press. So I've got a little heat press because there's some things I want to do with sticky vinyl, and I know what I mean. I want to do something where I can put vinyl stickers onto maybe a little wooden plaque or a little wooden box or something like that, or onto a piece of fabric where you actually need the heat press to make it work. And so I've ordered a little one of those, but I did it the other day because you know how I like the bargains, and I like the top cash back, and I like the Hobbycraft vouchers and things. Well, there was an offer that I told you about before. It was because it's the end of National Crafting Month now, and I think this offer finishes at midnight tonight. Although we're not the last day of the month yet, tomorrow is. But anyway, by the by, the thing finishes tonight, and it's if you spend £5, no, if you spend £20, you can get £5 off if you shop in the store or online. If you spend £40, you can get £10 off, but that's online only. And so that I got my heat press the other day when that offer was on. So I got £10 off the heat press, and then I used my top cash back as well. And so I just, it was bargain after bargain. There are a few bits I want, a few accessories I want, and I'm going to see what that will cost. If it's going to be about £40, then I will place an order tonight, and I will get my £10 off. I will pay with a top cashback gift card for Hobbycraft, so that will give me some cash back. And then because I've done that, I will get another. I think it will be another £2.50 reward voucher for Hobbycraft. But I've just got to look and see if they've got the right stuff, and if they got it at a good price, because I don't always buy the Cricut brand because that is expensive. So I do look at the other brands, the cheaper brands, and give it a try. Let's give it a try and see if they work. So anyway, I'm going to be having fun with my Cricut. I think also my daughter and I are going to be doing some gardening because the weather's starting to be nicer, and she's got a lovely big garden here, and there's pots and things, so I can potter around amongst the pots and help her do that. So I think that this week is quite an easy laid back week, You know, we've had the wedding, we've had all the rush up and all the things we had to do for the wedding, and then I went home last week and I spent a bit of time tidying up at home, and I spent a lot of time chilling and relaxing, because that's what you need to do. Did I get any more videos uploaded to YouTube? Tracy, I got them downloaded. I've saved them. So those of you watching need to go now, Lynn. Lovely seeing you and enjoy the garden. Kath, we'll see you soon. See you soon. Let's chat as we do. Ailey says she remembers 2 weeks ago I was showing so many items that I got with my cashback. That's right. Absolutely. Yes. So the children have started using all the things that I got with my Boots voucher, and then other things. You know, there's so many deals. And so what was I going to say? Tracy was saying, I was going back to YouTube. I was telling Tracy that because she found a video from 2018, was it, Tracy? 2018, 2019, of I think it was 2018, when Tracy was putting the lights on the lorry for the carnival, and I was standing at my Juliet balcony talking down to her and videoing her, and she found that clip and she shared it with me, and I've put it online. And I said to her, Facebook are changing their rules, and they are going to get rid of all 2019. Thank you, Tracy. Facebook are going to get rid of all the live streams that happened on Facebook. They're not going to store them anymore. I don't know why that is or whatever. Anyway, I have got hundreds of Facebook live streams. Some of them I know did get onto all the ones like this, like tonight. When this is finished, it will be on Facebook and it will also be on YouTube. So it's there stored on YouTube. But the Facebook one will disappear. I've got till June to get them all down, and I wasn't quite sure how to get them downloaded and then uploaded to YouTube. Anyway, I found out, but I found it easier on my phone than it was on the computer. I thought it would be the other way around. So the other day when I was chatting to Tracy, I worked out how to do it, and I was downloading them. And then I have managed to upload some of them to YouTube, but I decided actually to download them first, lots of them, in case I run out of time or anything, before I upload them to YouTube. Because what's happening is they're going onto my phone. When they go onto my phone, they automatically, when I'm on Wi-Fi, upload to my Google Photos. And I've got a huge storage with Google, so they're all going up there. So I'm not losing them. I'm getting them off Facebook, downloading them to my phone, which is then putting them into Google Photos, and then bit by bit I can load them all up to YouTube. But the most important thing is getting all those hundreds of videos. I don't know how many there are. Getting them all off, but of course some of them will already be on YouTube, but I think I'll just go through and just download them and upload them all to Google. Let them naturally upload to. I've got my settings so that all my photos and all my videos automatically go up to the Google Photos when I'm connected to Wi-Fi. So it's a bit of a task. Great. You distribute them on the North Island. Sticky back plastic. Sorry, what are we talking about on the aisle? What is it you're distributing? I've forgotten now. Richard, I forgot what you were talking about. On the aisle, 10th to the 14th of May, and be there to cheer off Tracy and Tasha at the start of Walk White on Sunday the 11th. I'm going to be around, I think. Yes, easier to download phone and auto store copies on the cloud. Thank you. Good old Google. Absolutely good old Google. So yes, and I mean, I didn't even immediately know how to find all the videos, but Tracy helped me with that one. Go Live Granny sticker. Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Go Live Granny stickers. Yes. Okay. Well, I had this thing with this guy on the guard on the train. I said, well, maybe it will be a thing where you've been Go Live Granny stickered or something like that. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. I've got to learn how to make the stickers first, but I don't think it's difficult. I've watched so many tutorials to see what they're doing with their Cricut machines, so I've got the Cricut here, and I've got the Brother Scan and cut machine, which is a similar machine. at home. So I don't have to carry machines backwards and forwards, because that's just too bonkers. I don't need to be carrying too much stuff. I always carry too much stuff anyway, so I don't need to be doing that. But yeah, so, and I'm just thinking, was there anything else I needed to share with you? I've got to clear my bed, because of course I've been crafting, and I've got a craft table here. The bed was lovely and tidy. Tasha had changed my sheets. She'd vacuumed the room. It was also nice and tidy. And then I come back and lay stuff all over it. Yes, easy. Ask grandchildren for help. Well, actually, I have spoken to my granddaughter, the one who helped me when I was doing the stuff for the wedding, the one who's doing maths. At uni, going to do maths at uni, and she's doing maths A level. She helped me work out how to put them all on, all the things on the mat, and get the most use of the vinyl on the mat. Of course, I can cut out fabric on this machine. I can cut out card and paper. Salvation Army help. Okie doke. There we go. Oh, Strange Homeless Scotland can't supply to the government for a wheelchair. It's sad, and so many homeless soldiers living on the streets, no address, no wheelchair. That's right, yes. If they haven't got an address, they can't get the things. But how can they get the thing? You know, how can it, we are letting so many people down. You know, that's not good. Not good. We need to really up our game totally for all these people. So, yeah. So anyway, I have to clear the bed in a minute, because I've got so much. I bought a box of card with so much card at home, and I thought I don't want to buy more card when I've got a lot of card at home. So I bought a big box of card with me, so I've been using that. Tracy's saying, yes, in case anyone is interested, Tracy and Tash are being sponsored for Walk the White this year. If anyone wishes to sponsor, there is a link on my page. I also have proper sponsor forms. Hope it's okay to pop this one in here. Absolutely, Tracy. Put the link in here. Drop the link in the comments. I don't mind, as long as people ask me when they want to put links in. Otherwise, I'll have, you know, all these weirdos that suddenly find my live stream and put all their rubbish in here. But no, that's absolutely perfect, Tracy. Put your link in here as well as on your own page. And actually, if you put it on your page, I'll share it to my page as well, and see what we can do. Wheelchairs can be supplied through charity Help for Heroes. All right, that's interesting. Thank you, Richard. I didn't know if I knew that. Salvation Army would definitely give a wheelchair, so that's good as well. So yes, I mean, we just need to share a lot of this. I mean, the accessibility stuff just needs to improve big time. People just, you know, people are getting, you know, just left out. It's just not fair. Life's hard enough for them anyway, when, you know, then they can't get the help. But of course, there's lots of good organisations around who do give the help. And there's lots of people feeding the homeless now, and lots of people, like a lot of us, who just would make a donation or... oh my goodness, that's a very long link. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I wonder how they make these links so long. Definitely agree. Re-accessibility. Yes, Richard, it's just not okay, is it? But anyway, only, yeah. So Ailey's saying, yes, Richard, but you can only get a wheelchair if you have an address, she's saying. So yeah, it becomes a bit of a vicious circle, doesn't it, for those? Sorry, long link, walking in memory of Nikki. So for those of you who might be watching either today or in the future, and if you are watching, you know, the replay on this, and you just come across us, please say hello, please introduce yourself, so we know we can connect with you, you know, if you want to know more. But Tracy's, they're walking in memory of Nikki. So Nikki was a great friend of Tracy, and she had a little girl called Kezi, and sadly Kezi was left this life far too early. A beautiful little girl with a bright smile, and so Nikki, who was her mum, set up a charity, and Tracy was working with her in the charity. I don't know whether you, Tracy, did you help her set it up, or did she set it up and then you got involved? I don't know, but I know that you have been instrumental in loads of stuff for the Kezi Kindness Appeal. And sadly, after all the hard work that Nikki had been doing, raising all these funds to make children smile, she then lost her own life recently, and so that's been very sad. So Richard's saying the Sikh community do feeding very well. So you mean feeding the homeless? Is that good? Is that what you mean? Sorry. You only remembered as Richard had asked me today to post the sponsor form to him. No, that's fine, Tracy. I don't mind because I know the charity and I know that, So you helped her set it up too. Yeah, I wasn't sure, Tracy. So that's brilliant. Tracy's been very instrumental in the running of that charity, but she actually helped Nikki set it up as well. And they raised a lot of money and they did all sorts of things to make children smile. I know there were things at Christmas. Put some of the things in, Tracy, that you did, because I need a prompt, I know that you had lots of raffles, you'd sell raffle tickets, and then lots of people were winning all sorts of lovely things. I know some people who won some things, so it was wonderful to see. So that obviously you're walking the white to raise funds. So obviously the charity is continuing, although Nikki's not there, to do it, but you're doing it in her memory. So is there a specific thing that this money from Walk the White is going to, or is it generally into the charity just to do more good work to make children smile? I don't think I had asked you that before. If I did, I totally forgotten. Richard's saying feeding the homeless by Sikh community, and also not just homeless, but anyone in the community that needs help. So that's good, isn't it? There are a lot of very good people around doing a lot of good things, but they're doing things that. Right, yes. Tracy's just put me that in there. They're walking the white is for the hospice. So I believe that Nikki was in the hospice, the Mountbatten Hospice on the Isle of Wight. It's an amazing place, but it needs an amazing amount of money to keep providing the services for people, and it provides an amazing service. And Walk the White, that's right. So Walk the White actually is in aid of. So yes, it's in aid of the hospice. Sorry, I'm being a bit dithery, aren't I, tonight, Tracy? But yes, Walk the White is the main fundraiser for the hospice. They raise thousands and thousands of pounds. So Walk the White's been running for so many years, and it's a wonderful. I've never actually sort of observed. Yes, sorry, that's not true. One Walk the White, I was a Rotarian. I was giving out drinks at one of the pit stops as a Rotarian, but otherwise, for some reason, I've never been much involved with that. I get involved with so many other things, but this time I'm planning to be possibly in Freshwater, and to cheer on Tracy and Tash as they come through, and to see the whole thing as it goes through, Freshwater. So that would be nice. So Haley's saying, who remembers the Salvation Army magazine that were handed out in the streets and the bars? I'm not sure if I do. Richard's saying Nikki was in the hospice. That's good. And Richard has done the full walk twice. So there are all sorts of walks. There's short walks, there's flat walks, there's the full walk. There's so many different walks. I mean, I don't even know where to begin on that because I don't know what they all are. But I know that loads of people do it, and it's been amazing and wonderful community spirit and some beautiful photographs of all the walkers. So it is just an amazing thing. So anyway, there's a flat version too for people with walking frames. All right, okay. There might be, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I would rather, donate and use my time sharing out information rather than actually walking. So on that one, I will not be doing the walk, but I will be promoting. So that's good. So yes, so Tracy, if you let me have the link if you put it in my messenger, I can share that link out for you. I think I might find somewhere to shorten the link. There are places. I used to do that on Bitly. Bitly is a thing where you can get a very long link like that, and you can drop it in, and it shortens it down to a little one. So Tracy's saying that Nikki was in the hospice for 11 days before she passed, and they are absolutely fantastic. Most of the staff are volunteers, and they spend their time helping others. And it's sad that a lot of people go in the hospice and don't always come out. They also offer counselling and different things up there. And yes, and so counselling, that's right. So
what was I going to say? I think they can have their hair done or their nails done and things like that when they're in the hospice, can't they? I seem to remember things like that, I think. And so Ailey saying, will it be 3 years ago your mother died? I think it will. I think it's 3 years, isn't it? She died, I think 3 years ago. Do you know? I'm tired. My brain's not working at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it is. Richard says flat route, 8 miles, and always welcome volunteers for support points, giving out the drinks, etc. I can see I've just had a message in Messenger, so I expect that's Tracy just dropping that link in for me. But folks, I think I need to finish up. Richard saying yes, it was 3 years ago. I'm going to finish up now and tidy up my bed, have a quick look on Hobbycraft to see if there's anything I want to take advantage of that offer. But if there's not, I won't. But I forgot. We've all been, those of us who use Top Cashback, though they've been running a game all this week. The Hummingbird game is back. And so if you're a Top Cashback user, and if you want to join Top Cashback, let me know and I'll give you a link that will benefit you. And, I get something as well, but it's always a good that you get something and it's fun. So the Hummingbirds was a game that was run 2 years ago when I joined. And basically, on the website, hummingbirds appear on some of the retailers' sites. Just sent you my link on my page. If anyone wants to click on that link, the money donated goes straight to the hospice. Okay, all right. Oh, so the one, just sent you a link on my page. If anyone wants. So if they click on the link that you sent me, it goes straight to the hospice. So would you rather have people sponsor you on that, because then you can see how much you're actually raising? So I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you in Messenger, Tracy. So I got it clear in my head. Okay. So I was just now. What was I just saying? I've forgotten. Sending sunflowers. Ailey's sending sunflowers. Look, in memory of my mum. My mum absolutely loved sunflowers. Thank you, Ailey. Nightly, and I watch Startable Customer and comment as a pro. That's fine, Richard. Yeah, absolutely. We've been 2 hours and 15 minutes now. I need to go in a minute. So what was I just saying? I've forgotten what I was saying. But anything else to tell? I can't remember. Too many things happening. But I think I just need to go. I'm a bit tired, and I just need to tidy up. I can't go to bed at the moment because I've got too much stuff on my bed. Tracy gets an email when anyone donates on the link. Excellent, thank you. And Richard's put something in, but I can't see what it is because it's just like a blank. It's blank on mine. So obviously you've put some picture or something, but it's not showing what it is. And it's funny, look, we've got nobody. Oh, we did have some people come in from YouTube, didn't we? But we didn't have Steve. Steve, the window cleaner, is not in the house tonight. Perhaps he'll watch the replay. Hello, Steve. This is for you if you come in on the replay. Good night from Scotland. That's Amy saying good night. So, folks, I'm going to go now. If you have anything else that you want, he's put a pic up saying thanks. Oh, thank you, Tracy. I don't know why. Sometimes those things don't show for me. It just looks like a little white square. I don't know why that is, but then I don't know a lot of things. I mean, I don't know why Siri is naughty like she is. We'll see. Anyway, folks, thank you so much. Next week, I will not be coming from here next week. I will not be coming from my house. I don't know. Watch this space. I might actually move Sunday to Monday next week. I'll let you know. Watch out. It might be that Monday is. I think that's what I will do. I'm going to say that now. I don't think I'm going to live stream on Sunday night because I'm spending time with family. So watch out. I'll do Monday. I'll live stream on Monday next week. Have a good week, Lynn, and rest and relax. Absolutely. And that's what's the date? Is it the 1st of April tomorrow? I think it's only the 30th. Is it the 30th today or the 31st? I've got confused. Can somebody tell me what date it is before I go? It's April. She said it's the 1st of April. I thought it was the 30th today. I thought it was the 31st tomorrow. I'm sure it's the 31st tomorrow, isn't it? Let's see. Anybody going to prompt me and tell me what the date is today? I can't see until I go back to my original screen, and then it will tell me what date it is. At least white square, not little quite, but bull as in Tommy Steele's song 1st April. 1st of April is Tuesday. Absolutely, that's what I thought. I thought it was only the 30th today. If you can't be good, be careful. So Tracy's confusing me even more because she's put 2st April is Tuesday, and I think she meant to put the 1st of April is Tuesday. Dear oh dear. I'm pretty sure it's the 1st of April. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. She's corrected it now. Oh, our little fat fingers. Yeah, so Monday the 31st tomorrow. Okay, folks. So 1st of April is on Tuesday. So have a good week, folks. And I'll see you. So let's make it Monday next week. So not Sunday. I'm not live streaming on Sunday. I will be live streaming on Monday. And then I'll tell you all about the weekend that I've had and why I wasn't live streaming on Sunday. All right. Night, everybody. Thank you for all your input. Lovely to see you all. Have a wonderful week, and let's meet again on Monday a week tomorrow. Bye. And that will be the 7th of April, I believe. You've deleted comment now. So, oh, right. Okay. All right. Oh, good. That doesn't matter. Don't worry. Whatever. Night, everybody. See you soon, and thanks for joining me.